All right, folks, if you could find your seats, we're about to get started with the live stream portion of our program. And so get those last bids in. There's going to be, the live auction's going to remain open for a while yet, so you still got time in that regard. And so if you could find your seats, I think there's going to be dessert served here in a moment, and we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Welcome to an evening for Korah, the reason we are here tonight. Korah, as you saw, is situated near the city garbage dump in the heart of Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia. It began over 90 years ago as a community for those living with leprosy and has now grown into a disadvantaged and impoverished urban district with an estimated population of 150,000. As the video illustrates, Korah is characterized by some of the most extreme levels of urban poverty in the world, with poor sanitation, costly and unsafe living conditions, a lack of clean water, and food scarcity that are all increasingly made worse by rising inflation. Many survive through perilous forms of employment, including begging, prostitution, or even scavenging at the trash dump. I've walked those streets many times and have witnessed firsthand the significant challenges for those living in Korah. My name is Mark Brandsma, and I will be the MC tonight. On behalf of the Hope for Korah board, our staff here in Abbotsford, BC, as well as our staff in Addis, I welcome you to this evening for Korah. We are grateful you have taken time out of your schedules to be here. We're grateful for those supporters right in this room, as well as those supporters that are joining us online tonight. Thank you for being here. For those of you watching online, we invite you to let us know that you're out there. We want to hear from you, whatever platform you're watching on. Please send us a message. Let us know who you are, where you are, and perhaps some sort of word of encouragement. We want to hear from you. This evening, we are raising funds to set the organization up financially for the coming year. And so we have been doing this now for 12 years, and so thank you for all the years in the past that you've been involved in walking this journey with us. We hope that, I should just mention that there are various ways to give. Of course, you can, there's links online that you can see and participate that way. You can also submit checks. There's various ways to do that as far as giving. There's also, for some that you prefer to just give to the general fund wherever it's needed most, there's also a number of different programs within the organization that people like to give, and so feel free to choose either that way. We hope that as you watch the videos and hear various people speak throughout the evening, that you'll be able to enter into Korah, and that you'll be encouraged and inspired by the amazing people who live there. Now, for those in the room, I want to do a little bit of a poll. There's about 250 or so in the room, and I want you to put up your hand if you are if this is your first time attending the evening for Korah. Okay, this is fabulous. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you've been told by those that invited you, but we have a special experience that we do every year for those that are attending for the first time. Now, I wouldn't call it a hazing. I wouldn't call it initiation. I just call it more of a entertainment experience. Okay, so partway through this evening, you're going to come backstage here, and you're going to be given traditional Ethiopian garments, and then you're going to be asked to, you're going to come on stage here, we'll make room for all of you, and you're going to be doing a traditional Ethiopian dance. Okay, now, the dance kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like that. Now, the audience might laugh, but rest assured, they're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you, because they remember their first time attending Evening for Korah. Oh, wait, just excuse me for a sec. Yeah, no, I hear you. Serious? What? Are you sure this comes from the top? Okay, I'll let them know. Sorry, folks. I've just been notified that we don't have time in our agenda tonight for the dance of all the newcomers. So this long-standing tradition is getting bumped. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit upset. And I question who has the authority to call the shots like that. So disappointing. Well, moving on, I would now like to call onto stage our Executive Director, Eve Pohl. She is my friend. I think she's the one that has authority to make those decisions.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be with everyone tonight and to see you here. Thank you for coming. If it wasn't for your caring compassion and, of course, God's help, we wouldn't be here tonight because we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do in Korah. And, of course, we wouldn't have stories of hope and transformation to share with you. I was in Ethiopia several times this year, and once again, that constant ebb and flow of joy and pain day after day is quite visible. It's a constant up and down. One moment, you're sharing the excitement and celebrating the joys and the victories with someone, and then the very next moment, you're sharing in someone's grief and sorrow. You're going to get a taste of some of that tonight. When I'm in Korah, the highlight for me is always spending time with the families. It's just such a privilege and an honor to sit with them in their homes and have a coffee ceremony like what Hosanna shared with us tonight. And it's so encouraging to see how God is working in all of their lives. And it's humbling to sit in these homes that you've seen and just to hear the stories. And we have a lot of great moments of laughter and joy, but we also have times of sadness and tears. The harsh reality of their lives is just always really hard for me to kind of take in. But tonight, I would like to invite you into one of the visits that I did this year. It was in January of this year, and I'd like you to come into Mestawet's home with me, and I'd like you to see, I think I visited her, it was in January, so it was just a few weeks after a few months after she'd been sponsored here at Evening for Korah last year. And so I'd like you just to see what it was like to go into her home, and to find out that she was sponsored. Yeah.
Is this her whole house, or she doesn't sleep in here, or is this just one part of her house? This is her whole house.
When she was 6, her mother has passed away. When she was 6, she was given to somebody and watched over the sheep. She became shepherd. When she became 14 years old, she went back to her father's house, but the father doesn't want to raise her, so that he wants to give her for someone to marry when she was 14 years old. But she didn't like the guy. It was hard for her to live as a married person with 14 years old. So she escaped out from that house. After some years, she married another person by herself.
Her own choosing.
Yeah, on her own choosing, without her father. She gave birth to these 2 girls. My husband was a very good person till I gave birth to the first girl. After having the second girl, he doesn't want to support us. He didn't bring anything to our home. When she told her brother, he advised her to go to Addis Ababa and bake so that he can have money to feed her girls. So she borrowed 300 birr from her brother and came to Addis Ababa.
So she came strictly here to find a life of begging because she'd heard that that's where she could make money enough to survive.
Yes. It's not easy to beg on the street. People think that it's very easy to be on the street and to beg, but it's very difficult. But God sent you to my life. Now they have shoes. They get clothes from there. I'm really thankful about that. The most difficult things for me and my family was to get a food for us. Being hungry is a very difficult thing. Seeing my daughters being hungry was a very difficult thing for me.
this?
I was wondering to know who are the people that are supporting me. I was wondering to see who are they. I'm very happy about that. I was praying to God and He just listened to my prayer and He brought you to my life.
I do believe that because we've been praying way before we met you or knew your name or before you had heard of Hope for Korah. We were praying for you. And we know that we were asking God to bring just who He wanted into our program this year. And you and your girls is who He brought. And we're just so grateful and thankful for that. Hi, how are you? It's so good to meet you. We're going to take a video of ourselves. See, let's see. We'll take this and then we'll look at it. Okay, so let's take a look and see now what it did.
I'm very happy now. I feel like that I gave my mom and dad. I didn't get any love from my mom and from my dad, so I didn't know such love. I was so hurted with my life, and God knows that who is hungry, who is hurted more, so that He finds out a way for those people.
God makes a way.
It's hard to go into a home like Mestowet's, but the hope is real. Since that visit, Mestowet has finished 6 months of life skills training. She's attended literacy class. She attended an artisan's training, and she has joined our basket weavers cooperative, and so she now has begun weaving and selling some of the beautiful baskets that you're seeing here this evening. Her family is eating, and they have bunk beds. You didn't see it in there, but when I went into that home, there was no beds. There was nothing, and that's why I was saying, is this actually where she's living in? But so they slept on the ground. But now they have beds, and her girls are both in school, they're attending all of our youth programs, and they're doing well. God has truly made a way. And I have to say that I have so much appreciation for our Ethiopian team on the ground. Our skilled social workers and our medical staff, they are dealing with some of the most complex social issues in the world. I pray for them often, as every day they're navigating these situations and they're personally experiencing the pains of these people that they've come to love and care for deeply, and also the incredible joys as God brings change to their lives. Recently, our social workers and team have been visiting many, many homes, 65 to be exact, homes, as they're assessing new families to enter into our program. And so we've just added 20 families to our Hope for Korah Family Empowerment Program. And each one of these families needs several sponsors. The inflation is so high in Ethiopia, it's just skyrocketed. This year's inflation rate over there is averaging each month 32%. The cost of food is even higher, it's at 41%. When we began Hope for Korah in 2011, rent has increased by 1,500%. So can you imagine your mortgage or your rent going up 15 times? So all of our programs, our families, our staff, everyone has been impacted, which is why tonight is so important. And all of your support and your ongoing support that many have given over the years and being here tonight, you're going to help us meet the needs for this upcoming year. And I'm hoping if you haven't sponsored a family, you might consider doing so tonight. Mel is at the back table and right over there in the corner, and we have our 20 families are there. They're also online, which I'm sure is behind me, the hopeforkorah.org/sponsor. and we'd love to get those 20 families sponsored. Before I was part of Hope for Korah, we had sponsored families, but I never really knew what it was like for that family on the other side, and I hope you got a glimpse of that when I was in that home with Nestawat, and she was so excited to see who was sponsoring her. But in closing, I would like you to hear Shemsel. She's our Family Empowerment Officer, so she oversees our Family Empowerment Program. And I'd like you to hear for yourself what a difference sponsorship and Hope for Korah support is making in the lives of these families. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Shemsel and I'm the Socioeconomic Empowerment Officer here at Hope for Korah. Over the last few months, we have been visiting many homes and assessing new families to join the Family Empowerment Program. Every one of the families has been experiencing a deep poverty and struggling to provide for their children and living by the trash dump, which directly affected their health. Yet, as we come alongside of these families by providing a daycare service, empowerment training, and also the medical care, we have seen them move from a place of hopeless to hope. Now, I would like you to hear from some of our current families in the program and the positive impact of sponsorship in their lives.
She's giving thanks to God who have provided all this opportunity. I could get so many sisters here. I was lonely and I learned how to communicate, how to live together with my sisters through the trainings. I have decided to continue with food preparation, and just today I had an interview and I passed. One thing, major thing that I would like to say thank you to Hope for Korah is because I could get access to daycare for my special needs child. And I learned so many things from Zaritu. I learned to love myself and to respect myself. And now I started showing love to myself. And from Samad, I learned to accept my daughter the way she is. She is a special need, but when I accept her, then everyone can accept her.
And I was in a state of poverty that we don't have anything to eat, kind of things. I was about to start baking at that time when I get the HFK support. It really helped me to know myself, how to take care of myself, how to take care of my kids. The poverty and the hard time was making me to forget myself and my children. But when I get to HFK, it really helped me and it supports me, and we get something to eat and also to get myself back. But now, after the HFK, I can get. My kids are spending their nights at a nice rate, thanks to God, and we also that they are getting the TIF support, the grocery support. She's very happy about that.
Through HFK, I've received literacy training. I had a plan to attend school, but I couldn't do it by myself. When people knew I'm illiterate, I used to be ashamed. When my son asked me to help him with his homework, I always sent him to my neighbor to get help. Not having an education keeps me behind, so I want to continue my education.
Everything is very nice at Hope for Korah, but from everything that I get, from the bed, from the grocery, from everything, I really appreciate that I am able to start the business, because last time before that I have nothing to do, and so I just sit and I was stressed and worried about my children. So now I can go out and work. So this is a great privilege for me. She's mentioning about the sponsorship, that they don't know me. They didn't even meet me in person. So they come here, even this is not their country, but they are supporting the people in need. So why not? I am going to support the people who are close to me, who are living in the same place. Her best friend that she sick because of the smoke of the charcoal, and now she encouraged her and she take her to Warada and help her to get a marketplace next to her, and she is also starting her business. So you see now
She's passing it on.
She's passing it to the other person nearby. So she's the empowerment worker.
Yeah, she's empowering other women. That's beautiful.
We thank God for the changes in these women's lives, and we are so grateful for every one of you who come alongside of these families, and we couldn't do this without your prayer and support. And we are hoping more sponsors will come alongside of these new families, and we can't wait to see them experience the same hope.
Thank you for sharing, Eve, and for those videos, putting those together. I know that Eve and team spend a lot of time filming when they're out there and then putting those together, and so just really well done. It causes me to reflect on a previous trip that we've made out there, where we were first meeting new families that were going to be joining the program, and I recall having just such a mixed feeling about things, as far as just the kind of between hope and hopelessness, where you look in the conditions in which they're living, and you're just seeing that, and how you're thinking, how is there any hope here? How is this going to work? And then when you start seeing, them come to the program, start to engage, meet new friends, and just how their life just takes a major turn in a positive direction, there is hope. And so Hope for Korah has been used, and I've seen it firsthand many times, as just a great vessel for being used as a vessel to help people just move from a situation of desperation to much more of a hopeful life. Now, it's still pretty tough, believe me, but there's just the hope that comes through what Hope for Korah is providing is just so life-changing for these people. Now, I do have a few direct messages from those watching, and I just wanted to read them. There's one coming from Mark Mobley in Texas. So nice to hear from you, Mark, and appreciate that. I've also received a few direct messages from Ethiopia, And just thank you guys for reaching out and messages that I thought were going to be quite positive. And it appears that there was comments about my dancing. And DeWeet says, Mark, regarding your dancing, no, please no. That's from DeWeet. Thanks, DeWeet. Sosana, she's always so positive. I thought her comment would be positive. Mark, regarding your dancing, my 95-year-old grandmother moves better than you. So again, thank you very much for those comments, you guys. Now, I'm going to introduce, we usually have it with me, and I'm going to have it later, there's a wheel of cheese that every year, as part of our tradition, we have as an ongoing auction item throughout the evening. And just as I say it, it just magically appears. Thank you. And so this wheel of cheese, it is the most beautiful of all dairy products possible. And so this is simply a wheel of cheese, but at Hope for Korah, it represents the spirit of generosity. And every year we have on our online and live, we have an opportunity to bid on this cheese. And as we go forward throughout this program, we would like you to be texting. Oh, there it is. Okay, texting that number, whether you're in the US or in Canada, and text that number and let us know how much you're willing to pay for this special block of cheese. And if you are not in this room and you end up winning the bid, we will make sure that it gets shipped to you wherever you are. And so I am going to, Andrew, put me down. First bid, $500 for this wheel of cheese. Okay, so let's get it started. And throughout the evening, you're going to see at the top right corner, you're going to see where the bids are at. And so feel free to pull out your phones throughout the night, text, and let us know how badly you want this chunk of cheese. Thank you. Now, in February 2022, I got a call from a friend, PL Mindersma. Some of you might know who that is. He wanted to share with me a crazy idea that he had. And he said, starting in 2023, he and his wife, Kristen, were planning to do a major bike ride for 5 years in a row to raise money for 5 of their favorite charities. Hope for Korah happens to be one of those 5. They call their endeavor Cycle 5 to Survive. And sure enough, this summer, to be honest, at the time, I thought, that's a bit of a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. Nice idea. But to their credit, this summer, they did their first of 5 rides, significant ride, and they raised a bunch of money. And so hearing about this generous initiative and how it was going to benefit our organization, our staff actually in Ethiopia, Eve commented about how great our staff is, and you're seeing that in the videos, but they took it upon themselves to do something that was extremely unusual in the community of Korah. They organized a street party. And they organized a street party and a youth bike race in Korah in honor of PL and Kristen Meinertsma, and thanking them for their support in doing this major bike ride and to raise money for the organization. And so I want you to take a look and see what happened on a Sunday morning in June this year on the main street, like the main street of Korah.
To the line.
Korah, not only Hope for Korah, the children, the youth in Hope for Korah, but many organizations who are partnering, the children, the community at large. So we would like to say thank you and God bless you. And we value what you have done for us, what you are going to do for us. Thank you. Go Cycle 5!
Now, there's a few best things about that video and about that event. One of the amazing things was that the main street of Korah, which is a very busy street, was closed for like an hour, but you could tell that people were getting a little bit uptight by the end that it was still closed. And so I'm just glad that no one got run over, no reported injuries, so it was a fabulous thing. I'm not sure how our staff convinced the local authorities that this was a good idea, but they pulled it off, and again, you can just see the festivities that ensued, and it was just a fabulous celebration for the community of Korah, and kind of, again, in honor of the initiative that PL and Kristen have done, and just to thank them. But again, in that, it just created a great memory for, I think, our organization, as well as just the community at large. So a lot of fun, and there was different people that partnered, local charities, as well as different church groups. And you can see that there was just music and Jesus was glorified and praised in that event as well on the streets of Korah. So it was a really cool thing. And you also saw that there was, they call it the Ethiopian Youth Sport Academy. And so there was some people that looked a little bit professional, and it's actually a professional youth cycling team, and some of the best, apparently best riders in Ethiopia that actually came out to kind of lead the charge that day too. So very cool. And in my mind, it was certainly one of the highlights, unique highlight in 2023. And now to continue that story, I was recently doing a video shoot for Hope for Korah, and you wouldn't believe who I ran into.
Hey, this is Mark Bransma reporting from Abbotsford, British Columbia. Hope you guys are doing well. Whoa.
Easy.
Hey, Mark!
Christian!
How's it going? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, hey.
What are you doing here? Well, I'm just doing a shoot for Hope for Korah, and this is my location.
Just in the
What do
middle
you
of
guys?
nowhere?
Yeah. Well, while we're here, why don't you tell the folks there who you are and what you've been up to lately?
Well, PL and Kristen by Nerdsma. We're on our bikes because we just came back from riding across the United States. We did what's called the Continental Divide. It's a ride from Banff, Alberta to the Mexican border. It's a 4,300 kilometer trek that we did, just the two of us. It's one of our initiatives, one of the Rides for initiatives called Cycle 5 to Survive. 5 bike rides, 5 years, 5 continents to raise $2.5 million for 5 different charities. And Hope for Korah is one of our 5 charities.
That is so amazing.
What a
That's
coincidence.
Awesome. That's great. Why did you choose Hope for Korah?
Well, we got introduced to Hope for Korah actually with you guys way back in the day when we were all in the care group together, and it started with the pen pal writing, the brother-sister friend, and our kids were writing kids back and forth, and so that was a long time ago, and then we just have been involved more and more, and we come to these charity events and we've learned more about what you're doing, and so it was easy to sort of decide to go with Hope for Korah because we had a connection, love the founder, Eve, and just all the work that you're doing. And over the years we've gotten more involved. We've sponsored some families, sponsored some students to go through school with their education.
I think we're sponsoring almost a whole village by now. I can't keep track.
Yeah, so we've been trying to hit our, it's sports, business, and education, so we've been trying to hit all that, and so now we're, focused on the Youth Empowerment Center, and so that's one of our things that we're raising money for, so it's been really cool to, get involved on all kinds of different levels.
So speaking of raising money, Mark.
That is so awesome. Thank you, Kristen.
Sorry, I'm so excited, Mark, because I've been carrying this $50,000 check around for so long.
Hoping to run into you.
Hoping to run into you.
What are the chances?
What are the chances?
So here's a $50,000 check. It's the first half of what we're hoping to give you guys this year. The goal is to raise $100,000 for each charity. The next 5 years, that's the first $50,000. So keep giving money.
That is so amazing, and I think I heard that this is for the Youth Empowerment Program of Hope for Korah.
Yeah.
And this will get used to help support, provide a safe and supportive environment for the kids who live in Korah.
Yeah.
And so just on behalf of Hope for Korah, I just want to express our sincerest appreciation for you guys and for what you do. And we thank you, but you should get riding.
Yeah, we got to keep riding. We got bikes to ride.
We're heading off to Nepal. See you guys.
What in the world are you doing?
So I can't say that I particularly appreciated the wet kiss from a 6'7" Dutchman. That's crazy. But we certainly do appreciate the support that they've given our organization. They mentioned a $50,000 check, and that will certainly go a long way to really help us finish off our budget for 2023. And as mentioned, we'll be going towards the Youth Empowerment Program, and so that's where their heart is at, and we so much appreciate their efforts, and obviously they're having fun doing what they're doing in helping raise some money. Now, in order to deliver excellent programs for the youth of Korah, it requires excellent staff. And Dawit, even though he doesn't like my dancing, he oversees our youth empowerment program and is a staff member that we are so thankful for. In a moment, you're going to see a video that highlights some of the things happening at our youth center, and one of those is the Bird Feeding Program. Some of you may be familiar with that. Before you watch the video, though, I just want to read an email that he recently sent Eve, just kind of expressing some of his sense of things on the ground as it pertains to the daily feeding program that we do. Dear Eve, today I was thinking and decided to write you. I was thinking about the Bird Breakfast program. I don't have enough words to explain how much the breakfast program means for these kids. I love to go to Bird early morning and see the kids. For many kids, it's maybe the only meal they're getting during the day, especially for high school students. Nowadays, the inflation in Ethiopia is like crazy. Things become very expensive and the mothers are not able to prepare meals for their kids. A lot of families are struggling to survive. Life becomes difficult more difficult from time to time. You can see in the mother's face how much they are stressed. The number of children at Berta is almost 500. We stopped registering new children. As I said, I don't have enough words how much it helped these kids nowadays. They come early morning and eat and go to school without any pressure. It is a big relief for their parents. I am the witness and seeing the impact every day. Thank you and God bless you all. I bless every person who helped this program to happen. I'm very happy and thankful for what God has done through this feeding program, especially during this hard time we are passing as a country. God is good. So thank you for that, Dawit, and that's just good for us all to hear, again, straight from someone who's working there day to day. I'd like you to just watch a short video about Dawit and his work.
Hi everyone, my name is Dawit. I'm Education and Youth Empowerment Program Officer at HFK. Today we are at Berta Compound. We are serving a breakfast.
The Berta Breakfast Program serves a nutritional product made specifically for children who are malnourished. 5 days a week, children from our Family Empowerment Program, as hundreds of children within the community have free access to this crucial feeding program. We serve freshly baked pancakes that are packed with vitamins and nutrients, and a warm cup of tea. In addition, 2 times per week, we serve fresh milk, which is always a treat for the children. A balanced breakfast is essential for students to remain energized and focused throughout the school day. This program is directly linked to the positive impact we are making through our Education and Youth Empowerment Program. Well over 200 children have access to our after-school tutoring program, library, and computer lab. We also facilitate important life skill trainings, kids mentorship, and youth clubs such as art and soccer. Our focus is to serve, motivate, and empower young people living in Korah, Ethiopia.
Also today I am with Binyam. Binyam is 11 years old and grade 5 student. Binyam, welcome. Binyam, you and your family have been connected with HFK for a long time. You've been in daycare. I want to ask you, what do you think about HFK and this Berta compound?
I started connecting with Korah a long time ago. So I'm happy. There are so many programs here, for example, life skill trainings, games and tutors here. So I'm happy.
Thank you, Binyam, for sharing your experience, and thank you for joining us.
As many of you know, the Bird of Breakfast program has been kind of a staple for Hope for Korah for over 10 years, and rest assured we're going to continue with that program. You might have also noticed in the video that the kids are at the youth center for after-school tutoring. And this young man that you met there at the end, Biniam, he was, well, it was loud in the background, but you could hear that he was speaking English, and so that's not common for kids that age, but he is speaking English, and again, that's part of the after-school tutoring program that has really helped him develop in that way. When Hope for Korah first met him, he's 11 years old now, he was 2 years old, and he was living in a home made from plastic tarps, and as we've seen in some of the pictures, and they were just right near the trash dump at the time. His mom has since graduated from our Family Empowerment Program and is a successful basket weaver. And his older sister, so Beniam's older sister, has just received the great news recently that she is one of the, it's about 3% of the students that do these nationwide tests that get them into university. And she passed this test, Beniam's older sister. And so that's a huge reason for celebration. And again, Hope for Korah was part of that journey with her to allow her to be going to university. Now, Beniam, he wants to be a pilot after going to university. So it's already a foregone conclusion. He's going to university, and he wants to be a pilot. So I was just reflecting today that, when we go to Ethiopia and you're at Ethiopian Airlines and, it's, yeah, this is Beniam, your captain speaking. Maybe that's something that we'll hear in the future, and how cool would that be? Now, I wanted to just also mention that in reference to the future pilot Beniam and his mom, what they've gone through over the last number of years, and just the progress they made. It's just a beautiful example of what Hope for Korah and the family sponsorship the difference that can make in families in Korah. So now, speaking of beautiful, I would like to invite Tammy Bransma up to share with us about the health services for Hope for Korah.
I didn't really get a prep for the intro, so that was smooth, hon. Good evening. I've been part of Hope for Korah for lots of years as well, and I come up here every year to talk about the medical program. More and more, I am very out of a job because more and more, the staff in Ethiopia are incredibly, incredibly capable at looking after their own people. And so what I'm going to do tonight is just tell you a little bit of a story about what's been going on in the last year and do a little bit of a focus. So bear with me while I just read a little bit from my reflections. Imago Dei. It is a Latin term meaning image of God. I teach nursing locally at a university, Trinity Western, and this is a term that we reference to teach our nursing students about seeing the image of God in each of their patients. It's meant to attribute value and dignity to each human life that they come into contact with, no matter what they look like on the outside or how they behave. It is also how our Hope for Korah medical staff approach the individuals and families they come alongside. And this is uniquely seen in how they care for families of children with disabilities. Well, there's always so much to talk about on a night like tonight and so many things I could emphasize. This year, I wanted to highlight a few of these children that have come into our program and how the Hope for Korah medical program and staff are partnering to support these families around them. There are currently 7 families in our program that have children with disabilities, 4 in our daycare, and 3 that are school age. We will be adding 1 more in this year's intake of 20 families that we've already referenced. And additionally, we have 3 young adults in our secondary and post-secondary school sponsorship program with physical disabilities. When families that have children with physical and or intellectual disabilities are living in Korah, these children's care needs are often very great. Mothers are unable to work, as you heard referenced in a video earlier, because there's nowhere to leave their children. And fathers have often left because of the care needs required by the children. It can be overwhelming, and as you also heard earlier, feelings of powerlessness and helplessness are common. Supporting these families well, then, requires special attention and is capably done by Hope for Korah's 3 incredibly dedicated nurses, pictured here behind me from left to right: Hewitt, Marta, and Jerry, also known as Jerusalem. In a few of these pictures, you'll see our daycare staff attending a partner site, Addis Guzo, getting equipment and training on how to look after some of our little ones in the daycare with extensive physical and mental disabilities. Without the specialized equipment, training, and care plans created by the medical staff, along with the regular review of these plans, these children would experience or could experience all sorts of complications they are at risk for related to immobility, aspiration of food, malnutrition, etc. Once the staff have been trained, they can teach the mothers about the importance of proper positioning when eating, range of motion exercises, some of these things you see pictured behind me, ways to prevent the complications and care well for the unique physical needs of each child. These children are very vulnerable, however, particularly in an environment like Korah, as you can imagine. Sometimes, despite all the care they receive, these children run into significant challenges, as was the case with Yabsura, Emma Wadet's only child and 8-year-old son with severe mental and physical disabilities. They're pictured here behind me. He developed pneumonia, aspiration pneumonia, in late May, unfortunately, and was hospitalized for 2 months in the local pediatric ICU before he passed away in July of this year. He is dearly missed by his mom and the HFK community who came to love him. Through the whole time, all our staff came around Emma Wadet and Yabsura, loving them at every stage, and they continue to do so in Emma Wadet's grief. These children and families are not only vulnerable, but they are also incredibly resilient and resourceful, able to teach those around them what it means to persevere. Like Angwach, for example, pictured here behind me. She is the eldest of 4 children, her mom having finished the family empowerment program, but lives with cerebral palsy. Our medical program came alongside her, supporting her through surgery on her legs to help improve her walk, and with nutritional support at various times over the years. She is currently in her 4th year of a social work program at Addis Ababa University and has shown such admirable dedication and determination to attain a career for herself, helping others. She is a member of a club for those with physical disabilities at her school, where she has developed her public speaking skills. I can remember actually going to one of her surgical appointments with her in the van. This was many years ago. And she was telling me how she one day wanted to be the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. And I have no doubt that she actually could. She also volunteers at an organization called COSAP, which allows her to come alongside young girls as a mentor. And she does this within HFK as well. She's an incredible young woman. Lemeskin is another example, and the last example I'll tell you about, pictured here behind me. He is a young man who came into our program many years ago with physical disabilities due to poorly healed fractures. He actually fell off a horse, broke his legs, they healed improperly. And so when he came into the HFK program, the medical staff supported him in receiving surgery to properly repair those fractures and appropriate rehabilitation. He currently walks with minimal support. He is currently a leader of music club at his school, composes and sings his own songs, and maintains a 90% average in his grade 12 class at a local private school. Also an incredible contributor to our youth community. These kids and families are incredible. The medical program and its staff exist to come alongside families and individuals like these at vulnerable times, seeing the image of God in each one, and bringing health stability so each one can realize his or her potential. While all the individuals in the HFK program have medical insurance, this insurance covers essential care as defined by the Ethiopian government, which isn't necessarily what we would define essential to be. It doesn't include transport to and from medical appointments, which are often quite a distance away. Nutritional support for acutely ill individuals, and with the inflation and the need for the breakfast program, you can imagine that when a young child at risk is ill, nutritional support can be very important. It supports specialized medical care and health education sessions, to just name a few of the things your donations to the medical program support. These things, plus the annual cost of medical insurance for each one of our beneficiaries, are what your donations to the medical program go towards. You fund ones like Lemeskin, Angwatch, Emma Wadette's son, who was well cared for in his infirmity and at the end of his life. Thank you in advance for your support of these beautiful children and families.
Thank you, Tammy. How are we doing on the cheese? We got some bitters. We got a little bit of time yet for this. We're at $1,200. Okay, let's see that creep up a little bit further. And so get out those phones, text 300-3550, and let's see that cheese bidding continue. I would now like to invite the chairman of our board at Hope for Korah, and he's going to come up and just give a brief, cool and refreshing update.
What would I be talking about? Well, you know by listening to Eve and others tonight that Hope for Korah is bringing sustainable change to the families and children of Korah, but we also are working to help the community as well. And over time, the staff in Korah have built really good relationships with all the local schools where our children attend. One of the most needy schools asked us for help to solve their water problem. At last year's dinner, I shared about Abuna Basilios school with over 7,000 students, and they had no running water. School staff actually had to carry water to go out and carry water back in jerry cans, and they'd been doing that for years. We started helping the school 3.5 years ago when they came and asked us for help, and over the course of time, we brought in water trucks filled with water, and the amount got bigger and bigger each week. By the time, about a year ago, we were up to 100,000 liters per week that we were trucking in for this school. But you can imagine the staff that no longer had to carry the jerry cans, what they were feeling like. But that was a temporary solution, and they needed something more permanent. So we shared their story here, and Jake is going to come up a little bit later. He's from Pennsylvania, and he told the story to Bridgewater Church, where he attends in Pennsylvania. And through his network and through our network here, we had many responses to dig a well. And shortly after last year's event, we actually began digging the well right on school property, right next to a 100,000 liter reservoir that had never been filled. We used hydrology tests to make sure that we were drilling in the right place. And when we hit water, we hit water. The well is 700 feet deep. It's capable of producing 100,000 liters in less than 6 hours. Think about that. That's every 6 hours, they fill up the water tank, they can turn off the system and wait until the school uses all that water. No trucks. Now, the new well has been operational since January, and life for the school children and the staff is noticeably different. I would like to say thank you once again to the generous families that provided the gift to make the well a reality, and your gift is going to change that school and the children in that school for generations. We have a video to show you of the building of the well, and also a dedication ceremony that Mark and Tammy and Eve and I were able to attend in February of this year. But before we do that, we're in the early planning stages of other possible community projects. So if any of you are interested in finding out more, Jake, David, Neil, and myself, talk to us later and we'll we'll share the details with you. Okay, thank you.
That's what we're looking for right there. Yeah, baby. God is good. That's not rain. So we just want to thank you for
ያደረጉልን እንግዲህ ሁለት ግለሰቦች አሉ ታውቋቸዋላችሁ።
Tell me that's not cool. All of the kids just getting the water and just all over the place. They'll go through, how many? 100,000 liters. They'll go through that a lot, but it's so fabulous. And just to be there and be there with the principals of the school and some community officials, and just to have Hope for Korah be the ones that funded it and just spearheaded that was just such a neat experience, and yeah, just one of those things that is going to be making a lasting impact for that community, as you can see. And as Dave mentions, there's other projects, particularly one in the relative near term that's kind of we're working on, and so again, we look forward to just putting that to some of you out there in here in the coming months. Tonight, well, I did see something as well about the cheese. There was a response there, so thank you for those that are, we're getting a lot higher, and so thank you for doing that. And but it's not over. You still have time, and so if you want to exceed 2,500, it's still open for a few more minutes. And so take the opportunity to go beyond the $2,500 point. And by the way, if you're American and you're watching this, go for it. 2,500 is the same as 2,500 in Canadian today too. So it's a special opportunity. Kind of like the dancing, the special opportunity. Okay, tonight we have a special guest, and he is currently residing in Ethiopia. He's called Ethiopia his home basically for the last 7 years. He originally is from Pennsylvania, and he is here with us tonight. This is Jake. Jake is our Deputy Country Director in Ethiopia, and so we appreciate him so much. He looks like your typical 20-something-year-old, like he loves to wear hoodies, and he wears his hat backwards, and He likes to joke around. He's easy to get along with. But underneath that, there's a young man that loves God and is also just a very strategic thinker, and he's always got ideas and he makes things happen, and he's a networker, a bridge builder, and so we just appreciate him, and he's someone who has to be extremely versatile, and this is one thing I've noticed in being and watching him when he's there. I mean, he's kind of got this baby face that you almost want to just pinch his cheeks, but at the same time, he just gets these things done, and he's just like just endless and in his efforts and in his work for the people of Korah. His daily routine is never the same. I mean, one morning he could be enjoying coffee in someone's home in the poorest part of Korah. We've seen some of that. Later that day, he's kind of all dressed up in a suit, and he's sitting in the residence of the Canadian Embassy, talking about how we can partner together with the Canadian consulate there. The next morning, maybe he's making business connections to support some of the sales of our women who are part of the basket weaving cooperative. And then maybe he's actually meeting with the hydrologist on the water project. And then later that day, he could be sitting with a young man who's lost hope and just needs someone, a shoulder to cry on. And so Jake is extremely versatile. He does it all, and we just really appreciate his effort and working with the staff in Ethiopia for all these years. And so he's going to share with us for a few minutes. So Jake, come on up.
Thank you, Mark. That was quite the introduction. I do clean up. Well, good evening. It's a real pleasure for me to be attending this special event in person. In my position, I have the unique privilege of seeing the direct impact that an evening for Korah has in the lives of the families we work with in Ethiopia. I hope you can all tangibly see the positive difference that you are making and the transformation that takes place when we commit to coming alongside of a family in desperate need of support. Offering hope and a future is no easy undertaking. It takes passion and the devotion of many. And you've heard tonight from the other speakers, they were emphasizing how committed and dedicated our staff are in Ethiopia, and I just want to reiterate that. Some of them are watching live. It's early morning in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I just want them to know how appreciated they are, and the people in this room, how they really are coming alongside of our organization. It's an incredibly beautiful thing, and it's encouraging for me. Keeping families healthy and together, it necessitates an unwavering commitment. The cause we collectively devote ourselves to is indeed difficult and trying, yet it's incredibly rewarding. You see, we desire for people to see their inherent worth, for them to rise above their pain and their suffering to a place where they feel whole and well. We often share in their burdens, as you've seen tonight. Living in a place like Korah is difficult beyond comprehension. People's greatest joys and rewards are often stripped away from them by the cruel reality of living in extreme urban poverty. When Tamo, a single mother of 4, lost her precious little boy when he was swept away in the river, it was the biggest tragedy her family and her children, as well as our Hope for Korah staff, had ever experienced. I know for me it was the darkest and most painful experience I had ever endured. But that's what we do at Hope for Korah. We come alongside of these families, and we share good times with them, but we also share in their deepest heartaches. And on that night, it was just after work was out, and we got a call, and before we went home to our families and our loved ones, our staff rallied around this family. Many of the young people within that community, the first thing they did, just like many of you would do, is we started going along the riverbank. The water that night was so high, and we were in mud up to our knees and going through brush, just trying to keep that hope. But sadly, the next morning, we found him. So it was extremely difficult. And it often leaves you wondering, how does one process such a huge loss? And in Tamo's darkest hour, she had no need for financial independence or life skills training or any other crucial and important service Hope for Korah offers. No, what Tamo and her family needed was for us as an organization to share in her suffering. She needed to be held and consoled. Without hesitation, our team rallied around this family, as I mentioned, to ease their suffering. That is what we do. We try to alleviate people's suffering with the hope that they will find the inner strength to keep going. Many of the mothers and the children that we work with describe Hope for Korah as the mother or father they were deprived of. The love and the unwavering support they receive from our staff and the programs we offer represents the warmth and the security of a family. Fractured families, as you've seen tonight, are extremely vulnerable. Without proper intervention, the result is a bleak and endless cycle of generational poverty. It can be said that the work that Hope for Korah is doing is just a drop in the bucket. And that may be true. But for the families and the children we are serving, it is truly life-changing. Seeing families push through their dire circumstances and become empowered is one of the best feelings in the world, and I have the privilege of seeing that every single day. Each of you here tonight are a vital part of the work that we do, and I truly mean that. It amazes me how the majority of you in this room, you've never even stepped foot in Korah. You've never been there. Yet you care so deeply for the work that we do and for the families that we serve. I want to thank you here tonight for being such a crucial part of Hope for Korah. Together, we are making a true difference in this community, and for that I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake. We have just a few minutes left of our live stream program, and we are going to close off the bidding for the cheese. 2 minutes, okay? Cut it off in 2 minutes. Get your last minute bid on that cheese, and I don't know if it's still at $2,500 or wherever it is, but get that last bid in. $3,500. Way to go. Way to go. Thank you. Okay, you still got 2 more minutes. Now, before we hear from our country director, Sosana, I wanted to share an important update just with her and her ongoing growth. As an organization, we believe in wanting to invest into our staff, and so we are doing that. We have made a commitment to her and in her development. She recently is in Kigali, Rwanda, and there is an executive leadership program that Hope for Korah is paying for her to attend, and I believe that she's on the ground in Rwanda for 10 days to get that intense training, and then there'll be online modules going forward, and then part of that process is that she will also be using what she's learned in that program and transferring that in training for the other staff members as well. And so we couldn't be more thrilled about a few things, including the update on the cheese, which is now $4,000. But we are also just thrilled that just with Sosana and who she is and who she means, this has been said multiple times, but just the staff, and it starts at the top with her, and we just so much appreciate her, and they're going to hear from her just right now for a few minutes.
Hi, my name is Sosna and I am the country director here at Hope for Korah, Ethiopia. I have been privileged to serve in this amazing ministry since 2018. Every day, we spend such a meaningful time serving those who are living in extreme poverty in Korah. The families we recruit come with immediate and basic needs for food, shelter, and health services. We work hard to stabilize and get families physically and emotionally prepared for the next crucial step, which is socio-economic empowerment. Some of the ways we equip those families is through basic life skills awareness, guiding them with their future plan for income-generating activities and vocational training. We teach them to utilize and expand their social network and consult with them on their long-term business and employment plan. This is where I get so excited about our work and about our team, because this demands a strong team effort. We are committed to helping people explore their individual interests, identify their assets, and bringing them to the level where they are independent. In the 3 years that we spend with each family, we see a gradual transformation take place. All of you play a key role in being a part of transforming the lives of these families here in Korah. I would like to thank you all for taking part in the meaningful work we do. From everyone here in Hope for Korah, Ethiopia, we would like to send our gratitude. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Okay, Eve, come to that point in the program. We are going to announce the winner of the cheese, and came in at $4,500. And so thank you very much to Darren and Chris Findley. So thank you so much. And it just so happened, it's the weirdest thing, it just so happened that we had a second wheel of cheese, and it was just coincidence, and there was someone else that was willing to pay $3,999.90. We're going to see if we can get that extra dime out of him. Pete Kingma, thank you very much for your bid on the second wheel of cheese. So that just about concludes our time for this live stream event. Eve, do you want to just maybe close us with a quick word of prayer?
Thank you, everyone, for coming. God, I just thank you for everybody being here tonight and for what you're doing in Korah. Just the hope that we saw so much hopelessness, but it didn't stay there. It's changed. There's hope. And God, that's because of you and what you're doing, what you're moving in people's lives, for all the people you've brought alongside Hope for Korah, for people who are here tonight, for people who've come along all these years. We just are so grateful, and we ask that you would continue to bring new hope to all the families that are in Korah, to our new families that are just starting. I just can't wait to have them experience what these other families have, and for those that are still yet to come. Also, God, I want to just pray for our staff over there, for Sosna and the team, that you would just give them the strength that they need, because I just can't even imagine what it's like to go through all of that, in and out, all the days with these families and walk through it, but they continue to support each other and come to you, and I just am grateful for that. So, Lord, we just thank you. So please bless those families, bless our staff, and bless this evening. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, for all of you joining us live stream, we say good night. Good night.
You taught us to read and write. You taught us to learn. You told us it'd be alright and how to take our turn. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for all you've done.
Ciao, rhythm break. ሁላችሁም ናቸው። ሁሉም ሰው
It's good day today.
ይወርሰኛል ብዬ የፈራሁት ነገር የቆመ በበር አይሆንም አለ ጌታ ከሰማያት ቃል ወጣ ስለኔ ያራኝ ውድ አይሆንም አለ ጌታ ከሰማያት ቃል ወጣ ስለኔ ያራኝ ውድ ወጀብ አለ ከፊት አትፍራ አለኝ ጌታዬ ተገልብጧል ነገሩ ቃል ወጥቷል ዛሬ ቀኔ በመንገድ ሊያስቀረኝ ሊገታኝ የነበረ ቀደምኩት አለኝ ጌታ ወጥመዱ ተሰበረ ማነው ማዕበሉን እየገሰጸው ማነው ወጀቡን ጸጥ ያረገው ማነው ይሁን ሲል ሚሆንለት ማነው ያፉቃን ሚጸናለት ጌታዬ ነው ጌታዬ ያየሁት በዘመን ጌታዬ ነው ጌታዬ ያየሁት በዘመን